Imagine a ruler of the savannah who crushes bones and steals kills, a social predator that turns communal violence into survival. This is the lion, Panthera leo, in its most brutal form. Our question: how does a social predator evolve to crush bones, snatch kills, and wage ruthless pride warfare? Tonight we follow anatomy, strategy, and instinct into savage clarity. Lions are charismatic, but beneath the mane hides a machine built for force, theft, and dominance. The savannah's theater of carnage depends on cooperation and cruel opportunism. This film will trace muscle and mind, how bone-crushing jaws, blunt force tactics, and social theft create a predator that is both cooperative and catastrophic. Expect close, clinical details: skull structure, bite forces, social roles, and the invisible rules of pride warfare that make stealing a kill a matter of life and death. We will unmask the strategies that allow some lions to hoard power through violence and others to survive by stealing. Pride life rewards brutality and punishes weakness. You will hear the science and feel the horror: bones snapped, cubs abandoned, coalitions formed and broken. Every scene answers the question at the heart of this story. We begin by dissecting the body that enables this behavior: muscle, teeth, skull, biology forged by centuries of competition on an unforgiving plane. From jaw mechanics to the social brain, every adaptation supports a culture of force. This is brute efficiency dressed in a mane and called a king. Prepare for close-ups of anatomy and close encounters with the pride. We map the link between physical power and social cruelty, step by visceral step. Start at the skull. Lions have broad zygomatic arches and thick mandibles built to withstand crushing stress. Their bones are anchors for devastating bite forces. Bite force in Panthera, Leo rivals that of similarly sized predators. That pressure lets them break ribs, crack femurs, and expose marrow, calories hidden inside bone. Teeth are specialized. Canines puncture and hold. Carnassials slice meat. Molars crush. Together, they turn a carcass into greedy efficiency, consuming flesh and bone fragments. Jaw musculature is a factory of force. Massive temporalis and masseter muscles convert raw power into a clamp that can immobilize prey and pulverize bones. The neck and forequarters deliver weight and momentum. Lions use shoulder mass and leverage to pin prey while the jaws work like a vice. Skeletal robustness matters. Thick ribs, dense limb bones, and reinforced joints resist the shocks of grappling with large ungulates and the impacts of pride violence. Sensory systems are tuned for ambush. Keen night vision, motion-sensitive peripheral sight, and acute hearing create a predator optimized for surprise and theft under cover. Smell and taste guide decisions. The scent of blood attracts scavenging coalitions, and taste helps lions decide whether a carcass is worth defending or abandoning. Their digestive system tolerates bone shards and marrow. Stomachs handle gristle and brittle fragments that would injure lesser predators. Another advantage in the steal or be stolen world. Neurology. Lions balance reactive violence with planned cooperation. Their brains prioritize social status, threat assessment, and rapid motor coordination for brutal interventions. Hormones shape behavior. Testosterone and cortisol spike during takeover and conflict, fueling aggression and the appetite to dominate, kills, and crush rivals. Mane anatomy signals risk and reward. Thicker manes signal older, stronger males, discouraging fights, but also attracting challenges from ambitious coalitions seeking takeover. Sexual dimorphism divides roles. Females are the primary hunters, sculpted for endurance and stealth. Males are muscle-hardened enforcers of territory and access to kills. Panthera, Leo's skeleton and musculature are optimized for short bursts, sprint, collision, and the forceful clamp. It's a predator built for sudden brutality, not marathon chases. Claws are retractable anchors. They grip, hold, and shred. In the fight for carcasses, claws help pin a competitor or stabilize during a bone-crushing bite. Paw pads dampen sound and cushion impact. Silence lets ambushers close, then explode into violence. Surprise is as lethal as strength when a pride moves together. Cardiovascular power fuels short, explosive bursts. Strong hearts and large lungs deliver oxygen for fights that determine who eats and who starves. Loud roars are weapons. They broadcast presence and intention, rally allies, intimidate rivals, and sometimes trigger a chaotic scramble for carcasses across the plain. Facial musculature and scent glands allow nuanced social signaling. Subtle displays decide whether violence escalates or a kill is surrendered without bloodshed. Lions manage pain differently. Tolerance for injury allows them to keep fighting for food. Scarred bodies are records of past victories and lost nights. Tooth wear and fracture patterns in museum specimens tell stories, repeated bone-crushing left marks that correlate with social role and dietary desperation. Juvenile anatomy reveals early specialization. Young lions practice grip, bite, and coordination in play fights, learning how to steal and defend before maturity. Even fur color and mane length interact with climate and aggression. Darker manes correlate with higher testosterone and increased likelihood of dominance challenges. Skeletons recovered from kill sites show selective consumption. Lions remove limbs first, then crush ribs and skulls to access marrow. Systematic, efficient carnage. Anatomy explains capability. Social rules explain use. Now we move to how these tools are deployed by individuals and coalitions in the bloody theater of the savannah. Hunting is choreography. Females flank and exhaust prey. Males intercept and finish. But when a carcass lies open, the rules shift into theft, intimidation, and brute force. Stealing kills is opportunistic warfare. Lone males or coalitions arrive to muscle in, using size, noise, and aggression to displace hunters and claim the prize. Coalitions of males act like paramilitary units. They coordinate charges, flank defenders, and use roaring as psychological warfare to fracture the hunter's resolve. Sometimes theft is peaceful. The strongest male approaches, and the hunters concede. Other times it erupts into savage brawls, tearing flesh and crushing bone to intimidate. Panthera Leo males will kill cubs after takeover to reset pride reproduction. This extreme act accelerates their access to females and to the food those females secure. Scavenging and kleptoparasitism are adaptive. When prey is rare, the ability to steal a kill is as valuable as catching one. A cold calculus of survival. Lions display grim patience. They wait at carcasses, choreograph pressure, and then rush in. Timing determines whether a fight or a surrender ends the contest. Dominant males sometimes crush bones deliberately, exposing marrow as a trophy and as a method to accelerate consumption, while rivals gape and recover from blows. Females fight too. Pride defense is not passive. Coordinated snarls, countercharges, and strategic bites protect cubs and kills from marauding intruders. There are specialized roles. Some lions excel at taking down large prey, others at guarding kills, and others at barging in to steal, roles shaped by skill and size. Aggression is graded. Threat displays avoid injury when possible, but if tolerance fails, escalation becomes full contact, biting, slashing, and crushing until dominance is clear. Hunger amplifies risk-taking. Starved lions are reckless, willing to charge larger groups to snatch a meal. Desperation drives some of the most brutal takeovers. Lions use deception, false retreats, feints, and silent approaches. These tactics allow them to get close enough to fracture bones or intimidate a group into surrender. Once a carcass is claimed, dominance hierarchies determine access. Males often monopolize high-value parts, while lower-ranked individuals scavenge the leftovers and crunch the bones. Fights for carcasses can draw hyenas, vultures, and jackals. Lions defend with force and intimidation, but losing a kill to a coalition means weeks of energy spent chasing survival. The psychology of theft. Social learning teaches cubs to steal and to defend. Play fights mimic real thefts, training the next generation for pride warfare. Night amplifies theft. Under cover of dark, lions slip into kills to snatch the prize. Vision and silence give them a terrifying edge after sunset. Some males specialize in raiding. They roam widely, seeking weakened prides to displace and plunder. Mobility becomes a weapon in the struggle for food and genes. In extended sieges, lions exhaust defenders. Attrition works. Chase, intimidate, retreat, and repeat until the defending pride yields the carcass or the territory. Violence leaves signatures, shredded hides, broken bones, and deep scars. These marks tell a tale of repeated thefts, triumphant raids, and desperate defenses. Cannibalism is rare but documented. In extreme hardship, pride members may attack weakened individuals, turning sociality into a survival cannibal pact. Mob behavior amplifies cruelty. When several lions attack a single rival, the result is efficient, brutal, and often lethal, designed to end competition with force. Competition for carcasses drives territoriality. Pride borders are patrolled aggressively to prevent incursions by raiders who would steal kills and kill cubs. Resource hoarding creates inequality within prides. Dominant males eat first, gorge on marrow, leaving others to scavenge. That inequality fuels internal tension and theft. In the end, lion behavior is an economy of violence. Skills, anatomy, and social structure converge to produce a predator that takes, defends, and destroys with precision. Prides are complex social networks. Kinship binds many alliances, but coalitions and transient males blur lines. Social bonds both enable and justify brutal theft. Panthera leo displays cooperative hunting that paradoxically facilitates kleptoparasitism. Working together to catch prey creates concentrated rewards that attract thieves. Male coalitions can be brothers or unrelated allies. Their power derives from numbers and unity. More males mean easier takeovers and more effective carcass theft. Females form the backbone of hunting cooperation. Their coordinated strikes earn meals, but also paint targets on their backs for opportunistic males and rival prides. Hierarchy decides who eats first. Simple signals, rolled lips, a stare, a shove, enforce order. But when signals fail, the scene turns violent very quickly. Infanticide reshapes social calculus. New males kill cubs to bring females into estrus, ensuring their genes ride the wave of stolen food and pride control. Cubs learn early. Observation and mimicry teach them to guard kills and to exploit opportunities when rivals appear. Culture transmits theft strategies across generations. Coalition dynamics are fragile. Betrayal and competition within coalitions can lead to violent contests, where old allies become rivals for meat and mating rights. Alliances with hyenas are tenuous. These predators circle each other, sometimes tolerating one another near a carcass, sometimes exploding into conflict over every bite. Temporary coalitions of males roam to hunt and plunder. Their social glue is opportunity. Enough kills and mating chances make the violence of alliance worthwhile. Ritualized displays reduce fatal fights, but not suffering. Threats convert potential bloodshed into vocal and visual contests that still leave bodies and pride dynamics altered. Dominance is defended through constant small skirmishes. These micro-battles maintain rank and secure access to future meals, a daily maintenance of violent order. When prides collide, chaos ensues. Multiple kills can become contested war zones where alliances form and fracture amid the smell of blood and the sound of roars. Some individuals specialize as thieves, exploiting gaps in others' vigilance. Social memory remembers those faces. Grudges can last seasons and shape future confrontations. Social complexity turns theft into strategy. Status secures food, and food secures status. The cycle perpetuates pride warfare and anatomical specialization across generations. Reproduction is violent and fast. Males take over prides, sire cubs quickly, and often trigger infanticide to accelerate reproductive turnover and claim food sources. Females synchronize births sometimes, reducing infanticide risk. Yet synchronized litters also intensify competition for milk and early access to carcasses among siblings. Panthera, Leo's mating system, favors coalitions. Allied males defend cubs and kills, increasing their reproductive success while maintaining violent control over resources. Gestation lasts about 110 days. Newborns are fragile. Early mortality from starvation, predation, and violence shapes population dynamics in ways that favor ruthless strategies. Juvenile learning is brutal schooling. They survive by mastering theft, tolerance, and alliance building. Play becomes training for a life of contested meals and territorial battles. Dispersal is hazardous. Subadult males leave to form coalitions or roam solitary, seeking opportunities to usurp prides and take both mates and kills by force. Female philopatry keeps mothers and daughters in the same pride, preserving hunting knowledge and cooperative strategies, including methods to hide kills or defend them. Longevity varies. Many lions die young from conflict or starvation. Those who survive accumulate scars, status, and a terrifying expertise in violence and theft. Reproductive success links directly to access to food. Crushing bones and monopolizing carcasses is not vanity. It's the currency of survival and genetic legacy. The life cycle is a loop of violence and survival. Birth, play, theft, takeover, and sometimes brutal death. Each step reinforces the strategies that answer our central question. Lions shape ecosystems. By killing and stealing, they redistribute nutrients, create carcass patches for scavengers, and control ungulate populations across the savannah. When lions remove marrow and bone, they expose resources for hyenas and vultures. Their destruction is also creation. Carrion ecology depends on the violent efficiency of lions. Removing sick or weak animals keeps prey herds healthier. Lions act as selective agents, pruning populations and maintaining ecological balance through lethal enforcement. If lions vanish, trophic cascades shift grazing patterns and vegetation structure. Herbivore numbers can explode, changing landscapes in unpredictable and often destructive ways. Overabundant lions can also devastate prey and collapse local populations. Their impact is double-edged: necessary control or catastrophic pressure. depending on context and human interference. Human activity alters pride warfare. Trophy hunting, habitat loss, and livestock conflict interrupt natural dynamics, often increasing violent takeovers and risky raiding behavior. Panthera Leo populations are fragmented. These breaks change social systems, making theft more common as prides lose territory and resources become scarce. Conservation must contend with the fact that lions are both charismatic icons and brutal actors. Protecting them means accepting their role as violent keystone predators. Rewilding and protected corridors can reduce lethal competition by providing more prey and space, lowering the frequency of steel-driven pride warfare. Understanding lions' bone-crushing habits helps us design better conservation, protect carcass sites, mitigate human-lion conflict, and preserve the brutal balance of the savannah. Watching violence raises questions. Do we pity the hunted, fear the hunter, or respect the efficiency of a species that turns theft into an art of survival? The line between awe and disgust is thin. Lions are beautiful and terrifying, anatomy made for bone crushing, and a social system that enshrines brutal success. Human choices shape lion behavior. Kill trophy males, fragment habitat, or feed livestock. And you change the incentives, increasing theft, turnover, and the suffering that follows. Panthera Leo remains a paradox, a social predator that crushes bones and steals kills, essential to ecosystem function yet horrifying in its methods. We must reconcile both truths. We've followed muscle, mind, and social war. The answer is clear. Anatomy and culture together produce the bone-crushing king. Respect, protect, and never romanticize the savannah's brutal reality.